Once upon a time, there were 4 little brown rabbits. Their names were Flopsy, Mopsy, Cottontail, and Peter, and they lived with their mother in a warm, snug hollow at the foot of the big fir tree in the woods. There she kept them brushed and washed, with their whiskers standing straight and fine as a rabbit's whiskers should. "Now, my dears," said Mrs. Rabbit one fine spring day, "out of doors you go. You may play in the lane, or you may run about in the fields, but don't go into Mr. McGregor's garden. Your poor papa had an accident there. He was caught and put into a pie by Mrs. McGregor. So run along, take care of each other, but don't get into mischief." Now, Flopsy, Mopsy, and Cottontail were good little rabbits. Their brown coats were smooth and sleek, their little pink paws were clean, and they carried their willow baskets neatly over their arms. Mother Rabbit had said they might pick some blackberries if they saw them by the roadside, but they were to do only as she told them. So they went down the lane, and when they saw some blackberry bushes, they immediately set to work filling their little baskets. But not Peter. He was a very naughty rabbit. As soon as he was sure that they would not see him, he scampered ahead and ran across the fields, right across the green grass, down by the stream, and then up the hill again, right towards Mr. McGregor's garden. There he squeezed himself under the fence and saw before him rows and rows of fresh green vegetables. There were bright orange carrots and green peas and red radishes and white onions. And there was just the kind of crispy green lettuce that Peter liked best. So Peter started in to eat. He ate and he ate and he ate and he ate until his little white fur stomach was round and full and the tip of his pink nose could hardly wiggle. And when he stopped eating, he knew that he had eaten much too much. He'd better nibble a little parsley to make him feel good. So off he went, looking for parsley. But just as he went round the cucumber frame, whom do you think he saw? It was Mr. McGregor. At first, Mr. McGregor didn't see Peter. He was too busy putting in new cabbage plants. He was digging in the dirt and putting in the plants very, very carefully. But all of a sudden, he looked over his shoulder and saw Peter standing there. Up he jumped with a rake in one hand and a flower pot in the other, and he called out, "Stop! Stop!" And he began to run after Peter as fast as he could. Oh, Peter was dreadfully frightened. Shivers ran up and down his back. He ran this way and ran that way, and then he found that he was running around in circles. Oh, he was so frightened. His ears stood up straight in the air, and try as he would, he could not find his way out of the garden. On and on he ran, losing first one shoe among the green beans and then the other among the radishes. Before he knew it, he had run right into a gooseberry net and was caught fast by the buttons on his jacket. It was a beautiful new jacket. It had big shining buttons all the way down the front. His mother had just made it for him, and today was the very first time he had worn it. Peter wriggled and wriggled, trying to get out of the net. He soon found the more he wriggled and the more he squirmed, the tighter it held him. Big tears welled up in his eyes and plopped off the end of his unhappy pink nose. Oh, how could he ever get free before Mr. McGregor caught him? 2 little sparrows came twittering by. They told him first to push with his foot and then pull as hard as he could. "That's it! Keep trying," they chirped. So Peter pushed and pulled as hard as he could. He was just about to get free when he saw Mr. McGregor coming behind him with a big net in his hand, which he was going to drop over Peter's head. The sparrows flew around and around in circles and chirped, "Pull, Peter! Kick with your feet and you'll get free!" Then he gave one push harder than all the rest and wriggled out just in time. But he left his little blue jacket behind him. Off he ran down the garden path. He didn't even stop for a moment to nibble at the carrots or peas. He knew that Mr. McGregor was chasing him and that he still had the big net in his hand. He scampered between the rows of beans as fast as he could go and went straight to the little house where all the garden tools were kept. "I'll run in and hide," he said to himself. "Mr. McGregor won't think of looking there, and I'll be safe enough until he goes." So he ran through the door with a flip of his little white tail. There, standing in the middle of the floor, was a big green watering can. Peter didn't even wait to see if it had any water in it. He just gave an extra big jump and landed plop right inside. He found himself up to his neck in water. Before he had time to jump out again, in came Mr. McGregor, looking for Peter everywhere. That's funny," said Mr. McGregor. "I'm sure I saw that silly brown rabbit run in here. I'll find him in no time, and he'll be sorry he ever came into my garden. Every time I catch a rabbit eating my new carrots and beans, I take him home and put him into a rabbit pie." Peter shivered a little when he heard this. He remembered what his mother had said. He certainly didn't want to be popped into a pie and cooked for dinner. Mr. McGregor began turning all the flower pots upside down, looking for Peter's soft brown ears. All of a sudden, Peter sneezed. "Achoo!" He couldn't help it because the cold water was trickling down his neck. Of course, Mr. McGregor heard him and was after him in no time. But Peter gave a big jump to the windowsill, knocking over all the flower pots as he went by. Oh, Mr. McGregor was mad, and he stopped to pick up the pieces, so Peter got away completely. He ran as fast as he could until he was all out of breath. His little heart was bumping and thumping like an engine under his brown fur coat. But after he had rested a while, it was no louder than a soft pitter-patter. Then Peter began to look about him. Across the garden he saw a wall with a door in it. If he could only squeeze under that wall, he would be off on the road to home in no time. He could see the lane going straight back to the big woods. All he had to do was follow it, and he would be safe at home again. So over he ran and peeked under. He saw a little mouse come by carrying a fat green bean in her mouth. Peter asked her if there was any other way for him to go home, but she had such a big bean in her mouth that she only looked at him and went on without answering. Peter suddenly felt so sad he began to cry. He was very far from home and it would soon be growing dark. So he tried to find another way out of the garden. One path led him to the pool where the white cat sat watching the goldfish. Peter remembered what he had heard about cats liking to catch little brown rabbits, so he carefully crept away. Then he heard the scratch, scratch, scratch of Mr. McGregor's hoe nearby. Quickly he jumped into a wheelbarrow and peeped over the edge. Yes, there was Mr. McGregor hoeing his onions, and beyond him was the open gate that would take Peter from the garden back to the woods. Peter's whiskers quivered a little, and he gave his white tail an extra little switch as he slipped over the side of the wheelbarrow and began to run quietly between the rows of lettuce. His whiskers twitched as he went along, faster and faster. This time he would surely make it. Mr. McGregor looked up and saw the tips of Peter's brown ears going by. He threw down his hoe and started to run after him. But Peter saw that the gate was close at hand, and faster his brown feet went. Through the garden, across the grass, through the open gate, and down the lane, right into the woods that would lead him home. Just before he turned into his own little grove of fir trees, he looked back to the garden. Mr. McGregor was hanging up the little blue coat with the shining buttons on the top of the hoe to use as a scarecrow, and he had tied on the little shoes Peter had left behind. Peter saw a sparrow sitting on the toe of each one as he crept gently by. Finally, he reached home. He was so tired that he flopped down on the cool dirt floor of the little house in the fir tree and closed his eyes. His mother was cooking supper. She looked over at him, shaking her gray head. "What a tired little rabbit he is," she said. "And he has lost his beautiful new coat and his new shoes. That's the 4th time this month. Oh, Peter, Peter, you are such a naughty little rabbit. There will be no supper for you tonight."
So Peter went to bed with nothing for supper but chamomile tea. But Flopsy, Mopsy, and Cottontail, the good little rabbits who had done what their mother had told them, they had a big bowl of milk for supper. And for dessert, they had delicious blackberries and cream.